Hello everyone, welcome back to Dominion. It's been a while, but we have a new guest today.
That's me, your friendly neighborhood jivjov.
And we've also got a whole bunch of new cards.
I do love cards.
I love them too, especially ones that we've never played with before. These cards are from the first expansion to Dominion called Intrigue, and specifically the second edition of Intrigue because everybody hated the first edition and nobody wanted to implement the dead cards. So, we got a lot of new stuff to go through, and fortunately, they've added this little kingdom button at the top. So we can just display all the cards with their full text all at once.
Did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, I know there were some, skins that people made for the clients. I know, extensions, I guess, for the browser that would implement this functionality. And then they finally just put it into the base client. So, all of the Dominion expansions are going to add some new mechanics to the game. There's nothing huge in Intrigue, but we do have the mechanic of choice, which was not in the original set. There's some complexities to choice, but they're not really going to matter for this game, I don't think. So I'm going to put off getting into the details of how choice works until the next video. For now, it's sufficient to know that when you play a card that gives you a choice, you can choose any of the options that are available and get that benefit as much as it's possible. We've also got cards that have two different types. So we've already dealt with cards that were action and attack, or action and reaction, but now we got cards that are both action and victory, or treasure and victory. So they're worth points at the end of the game, and they let you do something during the course of the game, so they're not really taking up space in your deck the same way that estates and duchies do. So a great example of both of those is Nobles up in the upper right. It's a victory card that's worth 2 points, but you can also play it as an action. It gives you 3 cards or 2 actions.
You gotta weigh that, though, against the fact that it costs more and is worth less than a duchy.
True. On the other hand, it's the only way here that you're going to get plus 2 actions. So if you want to combine it with something that draws more cards, it's essential. Now, in the case of cards that have dual types, any card that refers to a type that matches one of the types on the card matches that card. So take a look at your bottom center. You've got Ironworks. It's basically a workshop plus. You gain any card costing up to 4 coins. If you gain an action, you get an additional action. If you gain a treasure, you get an additional coin. And if you gain a victory card, you get an additional card. So just to the right is Mill. It's an action victory. This is one of the second edition cards. It's kind of an upgrade of the Great Hall, if you're familiar with it. It's an action victory that gives you +1 card, +1 action, but then you can discard 2 cards to get 2 coins. So it can turn some of your dead victory cards into something worthwhile. If you gain a Mill with an Ironworks, it's an action card, so you get an extra action, and it's a victory card, so you get an extra card. Pretty cool, in my opinion. And that's kind of what it's there for, I think. Other than that, going from left to right, we got Masquerade.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Masquerade is one of those weird ones. It's kind of an attack, but it's not labeled as such, so you can't use a moat to block it. First thing you do is draw 2 cards. Then, everybody who's got any cards in their hand picks one and passes it to the left. Then the player who played the Masquerade can trash any card from their hand. Everybody else is just stuck with what they got.
Here's a fun tidbit for you about Masquerade. The text about each player with a card in their hand, that was a second edition addition. It prevents you from screwing over your neighbor if you currently don't have any cards in your hand and someone masquerades.
Yeah, used to be a great way to empty your hand and then play Masquerade and potentially get something for nothing. Then you got the Baron. He gives you an extra buy, and then you can discard an estate to get 4 coins. If you don't discard an estate, you gain an estate. So you can get extra victory cards, even though they're kind of garbage victory cards, or you can get a lot of money. The Courtier down in the bottom corner is another new 2nd edition card. You reveal any card from your hand, so if Courtier is the only card you've got, it does nothing. Now, having revealed a card for each type on the card, you get your choice, +1 action, or +1 buy, or +3 coins, or you gain a gold. You have to choose different choices for each type on the card. So it works really well in a kingdom like this where you got 4 different cards that have 2 types. But even if you've only got 1 type cards, you can still get something out of it. Then you've got the Duke. Kind of the reason I think this kingdom is called Victory Dance. We've got 4 different victory cards in the kingdom. The Duke is worth a victory point per duchy that you have. So if you got no duchies, Dukes are worth nothing. If you manage to get a whole bunch of duchies, Dukes could be worth more than provinces. And with all those victory cards, you're going to need a way to draw through your deck to them. That's where Patrol comes in. Another 2nd edition card. This is kind of a sideways step from Scout. You draw the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you reveal the next 4. Any victory cards or curses that you reveal go into your hand, and then you put the rest back in any order. So you get kind of a sifting effect. You don't have to draw those victory cards into your next hand, and you can organize the top of your deck, which could potentially be to your advantage. Then we've got Replace, another 2nd edition card. This one isn't really an upgrade of anything. Replace is kind of like a remodel with an attack. You get the remodel effect of trashing a card and gaining something that costs up to 2 more. But if you gain an action or a treasure, it goes directly to the top of your deck. And if it's a victory card, everybody else gets a curse. That's the attack part. If you gain something that's a victory card and another type, everyone else gets a curse and it goes on top of your deck. And finally, the Harem is a treasure victory card, 2 points and 2 coins. I think that about covers everything in this particular kingdom. So, any questions? Thoughts?
Oh, I have many thoughts, mostly on how I'm going to beat you with my excellent strategies.
Yep, I rather anticipate that. I don't think I'm as good at Intrigue as I am at a lot of other sets, but let's go ahead and get this game underway.
Okie dokie. Ooh, I got a good split on my opening hand. Gonna go ahead and get me a Ironworks.
It sounds like a good play.
And while I don't normally go very heavy into the big money, I think I'm going to be picking up quite a bit of silver this time around.
I believe I'm going to go for a Masquerade.
I hate you forever.
Not a surprise.
The first time I ever played Dominion was at a local game store meetup, and my first ever game, we were playing a 6-player game, and Masquerade was in play.
Yeah, it seems like it could take a while.
Oh, it was awful.
Alright,
It's honestly kind of a surprise that I still like the game as much as I do after that nonsense.
Let's go for a Replace.
Just working on my iron business.
Yep. Let me start milling. Let me go heavy into mill.
Yay, actions to play. That's always fun. Pick up a couple of free mills. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, all I can afford is either a Masquerade, which I won't get on principle, or more silver.
Yeah, I seem to play a lot of opponents who don't like to buy the nasty cards on principle.
Masquerade is the one that I can't abide. It just annoys me as a card.
Mm-hmm.
Cool art, though.
Hmm.
I won't have the slightest bit of hesitation picking up nasty cards other than that.
Yeah, I've got two decent options here. I don't really know which one I want to go with. I mean, obviously I got to discard. I absolutely have to, but I could get 5 coins, or I could do something a little more interesting with my turn.
Yes, play suboptimally for the purposes of the audience.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's get rid of the Masquerade.
Yes, please do.
Take a duchy. Buy a Masquerade.
Alas, I have been cursed.
Alas.
What a terrible
Only
night
there
to
were
have a curse.
lots and lots of different ways to get rid of curses here.
Make friends with the
you were
local
first to
nobles.
reach nobles. I don't think I want another Masquerade. I'll just take a silver this time.
Well, guess what I'm doing this turn? Absolutely nothing.
Yay. Yeah, you know what? I'll discard that. Won't discard this time. Have a copper.
I don't want your copper. Especially since I had to give you a silver for it.
Alright. I'm not going to trash anything then. I'll buy a nobles.
Time to chain some cards.
Well, seems I'm going to lose the all-important mill split.
Oh, that was exciting. It's always nice to play through my entire hand. And it's time for some gold.
Let me not discard this time. Have an estate.
You can have one of mine.
Oh, goody. I don't want your estate.
I left a cheese board on the counter for you.
I think I need a patrol.
Patrols are nice. And so are mills.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was one of those left. Yeah, I don't think discarding is really going to help. What do I want to do? I don't want this duchy anymore. I'm going to take another nobles. And grab a silver. Grabbing's good.
Chain my lovely little mills together.
Everybody knows the way to win at Dominion is to play lots of actions. That's why Village is the best card in Dominion.
Oh, the village idiot strategy. My favorite.
I'm going to chain nobles.
It's
Play
fun
one for
playing.
action and another for cards.
It's fun playing Dominion with new people and watching them just kind of learn some of the fundamentals, like why trashing is good and why actions with no draws are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Stock up on some more money. And victory cards that are also money.
Yep. Once again, I have an interesting situation where I've got a couple of good moves, but I think I'm just going to play the mill.
Always a safe thing to lead with since it's a cantrip.
Yep. I think I'm just going to hang on to what I got and get it on the nobles.
Oh, 5 money. Well, I don't want any dukes because I haven't touched the duchy pile yet. But I do like the look of replace. That art is rather sinister, though.
Yep. Have a copper.
You can have back that curse you passed to me, or you made me take, rather.
That's alright. That was a fun turn.
Oh, do I crack the province pile or not?
You've already got a lead. What more do you need?
Well, and see, this is I always ask myself is when I want to start cracking into provinces. But I don't think my money density is quite high enough yet, so we're just going to take another gold.
Get those nobles coming in pairs. Yeah, I think I'm good.
It's always nice when you get that synergy. Cards and actions.
Yep, I'll crack the province pile for you. Now you don't have to ask yourself.
Thanks, I think. Haha.
Alright, so I'm definitely playing a mill first. And, yeah, once again, I've got that interesting conundrum.
That's kind of the theme of Intrigue.
Yep. Yeah, I think I made the wrong choice. Yeah, let's go for it. Take an estate. And
Alas.
I want another estate. I don't think I want another estate.
Who does, really?
I'm sure people who don't have estates would really like to have them.
Fair.
I mean, heirs. That's kind of what they're all about, is getting estates.
Look at that. 5 money with no treasure cards on the board.
Mm-hmm. Pretty impressive.
Go ahead and pick up another replace. Hopefully I'll start drawing some of those soon.
Mm-hmm. Let me take the actions and gain an estate just to see what happens. That's what happens. It's kind of garbage. Yeah, I don't want to play that. Let's grab a silver for now.
Alrighty. I also have the Ironworks choice to make.
You can always Ironworks gain a curse and get no benefit.
I could. That is technically an option I could take. I don't know why I would unless I was just trying to end that pile out, which has been a strategy I've used before.
Hey, last weekend I won a game by buying a curse.
Yeah, I will admit I've done that, but we are a little too early in the game to do that.
Yeah, but you gotta get a jump on the strategy. Alright, here's the combo.
I feel like you are leading me astray.
Of course I am. Let's get rid of a couple of useless victory cards. And doesn't really matter at that point. I'm going to replace my Masquerade with a Patrol. And grossly overbuy a province.
Oh, you weren't that far over.
Yeah, one of these days I should probably get a Baron just for the plus buy. I guess Courtier is probably slightly better plus buy. Let's go Nobles Patrol, the ageless combo. Ooh, I can top deck these cards in any order I want. That order's fine. Yeah, I don't think I want to play the Ironworks. I'm going to discard it. Let's get some cards. Get rid of those. Yeah, actually, I think this is probably a good play. Get rid of a Nobles, buy province, get another province. Take a bit of a lead.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit. And here I was looking forward to catching up, and now I am just still far behind.
Yeah, but now I've only got 7. That province could have been a Nobles. And that Nobles could have been a province.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Just kind of desperately trying to play catch-up at this point.
We're running low on Nobles. Better get them before they're gone.
Hey, thanks for the curse. I really appreciate it.
I'm at the top of my shuffle, so... Question is, will the game be ending before I shuffle again? Probably not. Grab a silver.
That's the one thing I find harder to do in the online implementation, is just kind of keep an eye on where my shuffles are going to fall.
Like, I know I've got the number on top of the deck. I'm not even... You don't even have to look at how thick your deck is and guess based on how curled the cards are.
Well, I sleeve everything, so... But yeah, no, it's like I know that little number is there, but I don't know, the actual physically shrinking pile is just easier for me to take a look at. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. Man, that moment where Nobles gives you a bunch of good stuff that you wish you could play.
Mm-hmm. That's why you need to have two nobles.
Yeah. And more importantly, two Nobles that hit at the same time.
Well, yeah, like I said, two nobles. Or, at least enough nobles you can play a bunch of them. Well, I got a couple of provinces I don't need. Nope, I can count. Let me get a silver for a total of 8. I think the lead is insurmountable at this point, but you might surprise me.
Yeah, I need to have some magic happen, which, from the looks of it's not going to, but let me
Yeah,
do
that's more of an alchemy expansion thing. This is only intrigue.
The puns. Oh.
I could have gone for, like, Magic the Gathering, but
True.
that just seems a little too out there.
Yeah, there's no way I can catch up, and I'm pretty sure you'll hit 8 on your next turn, so I will console myself by just closing the gap as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I was going to hit 8 with a nobles, 2 coppers, and a couple of victory cards, but okay.
Well, that sure was exciting.
Yeah, I had a heck of a lot of fun.
I always liked Intrigue. It was a really solid first expansion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, granted, only about half the cards we were playing with were from that really good first expansion.
I count second edition as still being part of that family.
Yeah, fair enough. I know a lot of people felt like the attacks in the Intrigue expansion were just overwhelming. Replace isn't nearly as bad because the most it can do is give your opponent a curse. But I think, judging by my list, the next game we're going to see some really nasty attacks.
Yeah, it's always kind of a balancing act, because I know Dominion sometimes gets some flack for being, multiplayer solitaire, and so the attacks kind of help mitigate that. But if the attacks are too strong, well, then does it really matter what you're doing if you can just kind of get screwed by your opponent's turns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say I consider Masquerade to be pretty essential here.
Yeah, I should have gone for it. My own personal hang-up was I didn't want to do it, so I left it alone. And that's on me.
Yeah, it seemed like you were trying to make a deck that would be fairly dense with good stuff, and you ended up having a lot of hands where you had no good stuff.
Yeah, or I'd have good stuff that just wasn't colliding right. I didn't have good filtering on what I was drawing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the real essence for me is get as many nobles as possible. Mills are really good, and a couple of patrols. Just because they work so well with mills and nobles. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And you know what's funny is it looks like, let's see. Yeah, you won the province split by 1. You won the noble split. Yeah, you just got the splits on me.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a lot better on mills, but I think you had trashed a few of them in there.
No, I never ended up trashing any mills.
Well, one of them went somewhere because I had 5, you had 2. That leaves 1 unaccounted for, and that pile was empty.
The summary says I had 3. I don't know what the heck you typed down there in the chat, but
I pulled
it
deck
doesn't match the
contents.
card list.
Yeah, I pulled deck contents, and I guess that is not entirely accurate.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might have been something to do with what was in play at the time, but
Oh, that might be it. Or it's just a little tiny bit buggy.
Yeah, and there were a couple of turns where I was looking at potentially trashing a mill to get a nobles, but then decided to play the mill instead because I had a chance to get something better. I usually didn't get something better. I think trashing the mills would have been preferable. The mills are pretty good early on, and I guess late in the game, once you've got a bunch of victory cards that don't do anything else, mills are excellent.
Yeah, because late game you can just filter through. Like I ran through curses and provinces with mine.
Yeah, and you toss enough victory cards in the discard, then you can play your patrol even if you don't have extra actions. Just pick up all those victory cards and shuffle everything for the next turn.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Well, anyway, thank you very much for playing. I was kind of worried I might have to shut down the LP for lack of interest.
Oh man, I'm always up for Dominion. Just my schedule lately had been not conducive to leisure activities, so
Well, I do appreciate it and hope you'll get the chance to come back and join me again. Next time, the plot thickens.
bum bum bum.
I'm not kidding, that's going to be the name of the next kingdom.
Yeah.